So if I understand correctly, Clickites probably started off as a company doing marketing tasks and automated marketing tasks, but now you've branched into other business process automation as well. Is that pretty much sum it up?
Welcome to Clicks and Bricks Podcast. We talk about the entrepreneur mindset.
If you get one shot at this, what kind of shot are you going to take?
If we forget who we are, they're going to forget who you are.
And you've got an adversity story that's out of this world.
Everything from that Main Street brick and mortar to that billion-dollar manufacturer.
So we are into, digitizing and automation, process. So we are basically a digital marketing service provider as well as automation company. So we have different solutions. We provide, services in order to make the task easier for the, businessmen so that they can scale up their business pretty easily and quickly with the help of right technology in place, with the help of right solution in place. And that is pretty much about it.
Okay. So
yeah, absolutely.
You talk about automating business process. Is that like, maybe automating an accounts receivable or an accounts payable process as well as a marketing process?
Yeah. So we are more onto the marketing side,
Right.
We being the digital marketeers like me and Utkarsh both have good digital marketing experience earlier. As obviously, if I give you a brief background about us, we used to have a job in a good company. I can't take the name, but yes,
Right.
We both of us were doing marketing there, and being marketeer, it actually gives you a lot of opportunities to understand what actually businesses are suffering with, in order to grow their business, in order to scale their business. And we, did a good research, we dig deeper, and we found that almost 80 or 90% of the businesses, they are just failing because of the right guidance into the marketing and automation,
Absolutely.
And obviously, right.
Marketing is a really hard one
today's-
for clients. So when you started the marketing and audit, obviously, do you guys have a tech background? Is that why you're so deep in the automation?
Yeah, so both of us, not me, but Utkarsh has some tech background.
Okay.
I have more kind of sales and marketing background. So it's like Utkarsh looks more of the technical stuff, and I try to find out what actually the client wants, what actually is he looking for, or what would be the right set of solution for the company or for the person who is coming towards us.
Okay. So I'm going to dumb things down here a little bit. Isn't marketing just like buying billboards or buying some Facebook ads? Why is that? What makes it so hard today to create a marketing campaign and get it out that actually is profitable?
Right. So most of the companies, or you can say the startups today, they are just focused on building of the brands and, not getting enough number of leads or potential customers. And they're just draining a lot of money into the marketing.
Right.
The problem is that they are actually lagging, they're not having the right set of funnel, because not just getting leads is enough, but the conversion of the leads is actually something which actually brings the revenue in the company. And people spend let's say thousands of bucks into marketing, but end of the day, when the leads are not converting, it becomes quite frustrating for them that
Right.
I'm unable to manage my leads, I'm unable to cope up with multiple customers, their sales team is struggling with conversion of the customers and stuff like that. So we just try to pump up into the process. We try to redefine or rebuild their sales funnel, and we try to make sure that whatever are the best marketing practices, be it, like for many of the B2B businesses, we have some good solutions for, I mean, those are not ours, but we suggest some third party automation tools for LinkedIn and other sources,
Right.
for maybe Twitter. And we sort of try to suggest them about the same, so that they are actually profitable and they're not just spending like crazy in the marketing. They're more focused on on maybe the things which could be done on automation, they are already being done. And the rest is maybe a small touch base call, or at the very end they are just pretty much easily convertible leads which they get.
Right. So
it is more about it's more about basically strategizing your thing, right? What all we can conclude in a single word is a strategy, right? So we can follow a strategy. We help them to create the strategy.
Right. I think it's really interesting. I talked to a lot of different marketing companies and a lot of different companies that do their own marketing, outsource every different scenario. And I've always brought it back to an engineering or a manufacturing process of like a Kanban board, right? Each step, and then whenever, here's the calls that I have to make today, here's the emails that I have to send out today, right? It's a process that you go through. I developed something called 13 and 30, right? You get a lead, you contact them 13 times in their first 30 days. Why is it so important to automate these processes? Right? Are you taking a sales jobs guy away, the job away from the sales guy or the sales team? Or are do you run across that argument? Hey, if it's all automated, what's the sales team going to do?
Right. So pretty interesting question, first of all, Ken. But, we
are actually looking for the same thing. So I can understand it is a pretty good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the manager might not, if you've sold the manager, he probably won't have that question, but the sales guy might, right? Especially one that's perceived to be a high level salesperson, right? I'm already selling good, stay away from me. But management knows I've got one guy that sells good, 10 guys that can't close for crap. I've got a problem. I need to solve it. But I've got this outliner out here that's like, no, you can't change the way I do it because he's doing it in some magical way.
Right. So I'll explain you with the help of an example. So generally what happens is, if you talk about, I'm just taking an example for B2B, processes. So for a B2B, prospect, or maybe for the generation of the lead, there are 3 to 4 different ways. Number one, you can generate lead through LinkedIn. You can just, try to send the connection request to the person. He will, once he gets connected, you try to pitch him your product or service. And sometimes it's also, quite frustrating for the person that he's not getting a single reply out of the, 10 to 15 cold pitches that he sent.
Right.
Even it's quite frustrating for the person who is on the other side that, hey, I'm not here for being sold, and absolutely. So that is the kind of feeling that person has. And the other way, of course, is the cold email. The third way is the cold call. But of course, you need to have the right set of numbers as well. And nobody actually loves to share his personal number, with, of course, the sales guy.
Right.
So in this whole process, what happens is the salesperson, he's trying to put in the effort. He's trying to put in a lot of his energy, a time in, following up with cold emails, following up on LinkedIn, following up through cold call. So our job, as a marketer, is not to take up their jobs, but we try to, define the process. We try to refine the, the leads which are actually convertible, so that sales team can do their job and not the lead generation. Because these days we have mixed up the lead generation with the sales, which is, of course, the two different things. So lead generation actually, and if you have to fill up the top of your funnel, you gotta have a good lead gen team. And companies spend like crazy in that, in filling up the top of their funnel. So what we try to do is we try to make things simpler for them, so that end of the day, if they're hiring a person, they're more focused on delivering what they have promised to the customers. And the sales process becomes smooth, because now the leads that they have, it's the very much refined lead, what I just said.
Right.
And this actually is a big positive for the sales guy himself, because he's more comfortable in converting that lead, because that lead is already educated. The lead is warm, and it's not like a cold lead that you are approaching in, and that becomes pretty much easier for the sales guy as well.
Yeah, I find a lot of time people think that there's two steps to a funnel: top of funnel and bottom of funnel. Like, oh, I get the lead and I got to sell them immediately. And I think that's
right.
That's a big fallacy. And there's a lot of nurturing done, and a good marketing plan prepares the client for the sale, right? Like, it nurtures that client, and then the client's ready to buy, and that's when they're talking to the salesperson. The salesperson at that point should like be an order taker in my mind. If the marketing was done properly. If you're doing hard sales on the phone still in 2022, I feel really sorry for you. You're selling extended home warranties or extended car warranties, and that's not a good lifestyle for me, at least. I know a lot of people live a great life doing those things, but I don't like those hard sales calls. It's takes a toll on the human psyche. Right? It's not fun. So it's much better to talk to people that are interested in your product every single day and they want to buy it, instead of trying to talk them into the benefits of getting it. And a good marketing plan does exactly that, right? It builds that customer awareness to the point like, oh, I know this, I'm product aware, I'm solution aware, I'm problem aware, I'm ready to buy and move forward. But if the marketing plan
end of the day, the salesperson is just handling the objections. That's it. Because, that is the ultimate goal of hiring a sales team, that your team is actually able to, handle those objections which are coming from the customer's end. But when the sales team is busy in conversion of the customer, he would not be able to give his 100% in conversion of, handling of the objections of the customer in a right manner.
Yeah, and I think done properly, there's only one objection, right? Will I get what I paid for? That's the biggest objection somebody's going to have. So really, it's that last step of trust with the company, right? Oh, this is a real person I'm doing business with. That should be kind of the mantra. So can you two tell us a little bit, how did you, what were you doing before Clickites, and how did you guys get together and partner up?
All right. So, Utkarsh, I would say you go ahead with it.
Obviously, as Prateek told, we are working into US company. So again, we will not take the name. So there was a plan. So that unlike pole attract each other, right? So according to me, it was just like that. Prateek was into something else. I was into something else. But he was managing sales and marketing out there. I was into technical stuff. So we were actually working into two different departments, right?
Okay.
So one day a time came that, okay, he's Prateek, I'm Utkarsh. So I find that day really very interesting that we two met, but otherwise there was no plan for any sort of business or something. But after that, we were situated into a same rented place. Okay, so it was a coincidence. You can say that a coincidence. Right. But we actually share our ideas that we can do probably multiple things to help people out there, how they're facing problems into sales. So Prateek into that part, and I was into technical part more. So I was behind that, about the website, about the marketing stuff. So we both planned that, okay, we should help people, help them to grow, but in a more strategizing manner, right? To maybe their understanding about their marketing strategies, about their sales strategies, and crack it. So this is how I define that.
One of the things that Utkarsh actually didn't tell you was that we actually have a parallel business, which is Career Kites.
Career Kites, yes.
Yeah, so I'll tell you a little bit about how we started it, and then Clickites was formed out of Career Kites. So what we were actually doing at Career Kites is that we were trying to work on the personality development of the individuals, because if you'll notice, half of the people, they just get rejected in their interviews, not because of the lack of technical knowledge, but the lack of their personality or the confidence that they have to have during the interviews. So that was something which actually pushed us, because two of us were, we believe, at that time, that we are good communicators. I don't know whether it is, but yes, we found
You're
it as
always
one of
better
our
than some
strengths.
and worse than others with
Right.
communication. So, yep.
Correct. So, of course, we just found that, okay, two of us can actually help people in getting upskilled in communication and their personality development. So then we started Career Kites, and we didn't know, how we have to drive the customers. I mean, we had the marketing background, like me. I was having marketing background. Utkarsh knew how to build a website, but we didn't have a good plan. And eventually we noticed that the similar problem was with our students as well. So the idea actually was that, okay, we are already on a product side, which is, the course which we are actually giving to the students is a product which is teaching them about how to improve, how to develop. But if we add a flavor of practical experience with them, that would be something which would be more valuable to them. And that's how we actually, people saw a progress at Career Kites. They found our marketing good, and they themselves sort of approached us for serving them and for providing them a better marketing plan for themselves. And it just came out of nowhere, because we were actually completely focused on Career Kites earlier. And then we realized, okay, we can build funnels for people who are struggling with their businesses. So then we just thought, okay, why don't we scale this service side of ours? Because we do have a product we are serving there to our students, and the students also need some practical experience. So the idea was that today also, many of our interns, the people who are interning with us, they come from Career Kites itself. And at Career Kites, we teach them, and the same people actually want to grab the practical experience, and they want to get some industry experience as well. And they join us at Clickites, and then they get that practical experience, and their actual professional journey starts from there.
Right. So you bring on interns to Clickites and then train them up and then place them through your placement company as well.
Absolutely.
I think that's a fantastic synergy you guys found and able to pull that off. Now, you guys came to the States working for a company on a work visa, I assume. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And it's common for, or at least my perception is that it's common for people that are here on a work visa from India or other places that sometimes they get a house to rent together. Like you were saying, you guys ended up roommating together. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience and how important it is? I find when you put, 4 or 5 young people together in a room for long periods of time, lots of creativity stuff happens. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience and why that was, was it a pivotal point in this business? And if it was, how important was that kind of situation that you were set up in to have this company be born?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, Prateek, you want to tell that, or should I?
Yeah, please go ahead.
No. So actually, Ken, what happened was, if I tell you about the incident, so I was actually at that place earlier with my another guy, right, fellow guy. But Prateek was actually not there. So after some time, he entered into that thing. So the thing is all about discussions, all about mindset. So I was at that time into blogging part. I was into blogging. I was earning through blogging and all. Google AdSense and all, how much it pays and all for the blogging stuff. So Prateek was actually into another startup also. So he actually managed to get into many other businesses regarding the same thing. It was just a trial phase, right? But again, when the brain met, this clickites, careerkites, wonders happen. So this is the part. If you are
Right.
all
But
together,
if
yeah.
I discuss about the struggles that we faced out, so that's pretty much correct, Can, because it was really a very a period where we just thought, why are we actually here? We should be at some better place. And uh, that's true. Like the people who come on work visas in US, they have a real hard life in the very beginning, but we never took it that way, because we took it as an opportunity in the very beginning, that okay, at least we are getting something to learn here. So in the very beginning, we were not really thinking of the earning part. And that was one of the thing that we believe we had in common, because I'll tell you, we had a team of around 5 to 6 people. Out of those 6 people, only two of us were the survivors after 6 months.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and that actually gave us the vision that okay, if two of us can survive here, man,
Yeah,
we
it takes
we can survive on it.
a lot of tenacity to start a company and get it to profit and run it and keep it going, right? That takes a lot of energy, a lot of resource, a lot of creativity, and sometimes you have to do it hungry and broke. But when you do it that
Absolutely.
way, I think the outcome is so much more gratifying when you bootstrap than the venture capital route. But I mean, I've got a lot
Right.
of friends in the venture capital route too. I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's not for me. You know,
Right.
raising money and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff is not something I've ever been wildly comfortable with. So I absolutely love the
Correct.
bootstrap method. It has its own set of struggles, but it is really
Right.
gratifying when you get there. So was this a house that was set up for guys that wanted to do startups, or guys and girls? Or was it a house
Uh,
set up for people here on work visas for your bigger company that you were with?
yeah, we had a small house on rent. It like four of us used to live there.
Right?
And even one of them had a pet, which was quite devastating, because Utkarsh actually loved pet and I don't. You know, I I don't feel that smell of them, of their presence. So uh, you can say, yeah, like it was quite sort of, you can say, not an easy experience, but
Right.
yeah, somehow we managed.
Yeah, I've had all kinds of living conditions, and I know lots of roommates with any kind of pet is going to cause just having lots of roommates is a challenge. Add pets into the mix, and then it's a whole different ball game. But now you two you're back in India, right? Pre-pandemic or post-pandemic, whatever we're talking, wherever we're at today in the pandemic. You're back in India. Do you have plans to come back to the States and work? Or are you staying put in India now?
So we do have, very clear plans for this upcoming year. So if everything goes good in terms of pandemic and of course the war going on, the two of us are definitely going to expand completely in US, because, right now we are even working with many of the Indian companies. We are helping them in, scaling up. And the plan now is like we do have clients from USA as well. So I would say the plans for this year are going to be like to get back to the States as soon as possible. and to try to expand in US as much as possible, so that we can like build it more quickly what we want to reach at,
Right.
and again we want to take it from there.
Wonderful. Well, I wish you the best of luck in that journey. I know there's a lot of challenges right now in the world with the Ukraine and everything that's going on over there. I pray that is resolved as soon as possible, because I definitely don't want to be traveling anywhere outside the country at this time.
Right.
So fantastic. What's next for Clickites?
Yeah, so we have launched our website in UAE. We have launched our website in Singapore, and we already have the website in place for India and US. So again, we want to hit new milestones in terms of not just providing up the services, but we are actually working on a couple of products of ours, where we actually want to try to fill up the gaps which are still there in the marketing or automation. And once we find out that okay, the product is good to go, we are soon going to launch it up, and of course we know how to market it.
Wonderful. Thank you for your time today, guys. Do you have anything you'd like to leave the audience before we go?
For audience, I do have a a small gift in terms of how they can also scale up. So like me and Utkarsh, we actually try to decide what we can give to the audience, and we concluded that okay, let's try to help as many people as possible. So we are actually giving an opportunity to whoever is watching us, whoever feels is struggling with the automation or lead gen part or the marketing part, to have a one-on-one discussion with me and Utkarsh, and we would love to define or maybe like strategize how you can also build your funnel in a right manner, or what are the fixes that are needed to be done. Additionally, we would love to offer a small, you can say 10% discount on whatever services we have in place. So that is a small, you can say, offer I want to drop.
Wonderful.
And
so if somebody has
it took 3 days. Believe me, it took 3 days to decide or give into this service sector, right?
Okay. So if somebody's got a funnel set up today and they're struggling with it, they're falling out, they're not getting conversions at any step along that, if it's awareness or refollow up or upcharge or rebuy or any of those things, you can help them diagnose that. If they have a funnel set up that today is profitable, can you help them get more leverage out of it as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we are working both on the correction and the scalability.
Right. Okay. So any step along the way, so that's automating phone calls, automating the email follow-up, automating text messages, automating that, find the lead out there in the world, get them into the funnel, and then follow up with them throughout that process to make sure that they're properly nurtured. Right? It's a very, very important step. And if you don't have something like that in place today, folks, you got to get something, right? So get a hold of Clickites and they can help you figure those things out, right? And it is challenging. There's a lot of different technologies out there to deal with, and do you play with Salesforce, or are you an alternative to Salesforce?
Yeah, like to be honest, we generally recommend HubSpot, as the CRM of our choice personally. There are multiple reasons, because of the integrations, because of the resources or the availability of multiple tools, or the integration of them with HubSpot.
It's a less subjective tool than Salesforce.
Yes, and it's pretty much easier to use. Anyone who has zero technical knowledge can just come up and start using it right away.
It's still a little clunky in my mind, but there's no perfect tool out there, I don't think. Like there's all these different tools out there. I like HubSpot. It's a good CRM.
Even for a startup company, it is the best tool, because you start the process and you can't go directly to a Salesforce part, right? So for the initiation, it's the best tool ever, right?
Right. Fantastic.
Right. And eventually, if you scale, you can just move on to Salesforce, or whatever CRM
Yeah.
of your choice.
You have to
Even you
be
can
pretty
develop a
big to
custom
outgrow
CRM for yourself.
HubSpot, though, right? It can be hard to outgrow HubSpot, I think.
Yeah.
It's a pretty robust
Yeah,
platform.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And it's the most, the one thing that I love about HubSpot is the accuracy. It tells you each and every single activity of your lead, what
Right.
actually is your lead doing at what time. So that's pretty much easier for the company to track their leads, and to track the sources as well, because because Utkarsh manages the SEO part as well, and I am responsible for the PPC marketing. So earlier it used to be a conflict between us that, okay, hey, this lead has come from SEO, and I used to be like, no, this has come from pay-per-click. And no,
But now you
again,
know.
it was, yeah, now we know every single lead, what is the source of that lead, how this person has come, whether it's from direct traffic, is it from PPC. So now we know everything about it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your time today, guys. I very much appreciate it. Hope to talk again soon.
Thank you so much for inviting us, Ken. And it was really wonderful to converse with you today.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. That's it for today's show, folks. Again, if you'd like to join my text line community, the number is 314-370-2871. Get to work.